I remember when I was a child, we all used to have dreams. We used to have just fantasize and say, when I grow up, I'm going to live in a big house. Or when I grow up, I'm going to do this. When I grow up, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go here. When we were little, we had big dreams, bold dreams of things. And, for me, one of my big, bold dreams, I remember I said, when I get up, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to have a house. And in my house, I'm going to have a library because I love to read. I'm going to have books everywhere. I'm going to have a room devoted directly to a library. Another thing I used to say, because everything looked cool, I'm going to have a bar. And on my bar, I'm going to have different types of liquors. I'm going to have just if I want to shake it and make a martini, everything looked cool and wonderful to have all these things. It was just like, now why? Probably, I don't know why, but it seemed cool. I mean, I love to read and cocktails kind of nice. So, but I always wonder, what were the things that you all said that you wanted to have? What were the things that you said when I was little? And you might have wrote it down. You might have looked at TV and you might have said, oh, that would be nice. I'm going to have that in my house. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have that. I'm going to have exercise room. I'm going to have this. You know, I say that because when you reflect back, a lot of times where we are today are things that we really thought about many, many, many years ago. And I smile because I'm now older, time has gone on, and yes, I do have a library. I have a whole room devoted to books. That's my library. I don't have the ladder that moves back and forth, but I have a room that's a library. Yes, and I have books everywhere. I have made that come true. That is now part of my persona now that I'm older. And guess what? Yeah, I have that bar with the different kind of glasses and the different kind of liquor and the shaker. And I have that. I managed to make that become part of me. Am I okay without it? Yeah, probably so. But I'm still, and I think that for a lot of us, we still think back that we have that. Some things may not be as important now that we're older. It may not be important to have, but you probably, if you had kept track of it, you have, and you have created a lot of those things that little voice inside of you said when you were little that you wanted to have. I mean, I know one thing I do not have that I said, well, I'm going to grow up, I'm going to get big, I'm going to have was a GTO. I don't have a GTO. They stopped making GTOs. By the time I was able to afford a GTO, they stopped making them. Now, I don't necessarily have the same desire. I like them. When I see them on the street, I still say there's a GTO. But do I need to have it? No, that's not something I need. I needed it at that time. And there's something called one moment in time versus a lifetime of having. But having books around me is important because I like to read. I belong to a book club. I keep adding on to my books. Now, do I need to have a bar? Probably not. But I'm here drinking a dark and stormy. For those who don't know what a dark and stormy is ginger beer and black rum, usually made from Bermuda. But I like that. I like the idea of having knowledge. I like the idea of different kinds of wines. I'm not a necessarily expensive girl, but I do like those kind of things because I said, and as a child dreaming, and I was now able, as I got older, to take those dreams and materialize them into things that are bigger and bolder. I mean, I really like people to sit there and say, why can't we have those things? Some things, especially if it's still important, still a little voice. Do I want to see the world? I wanted to travel. Geography was my thing in school. I read about the world, this place, the different things that people did. I read about the different foods. I was excited. It was exciting to me. Have I traveled the world? Yes. Have I traveled as much as I wanted to? No, not yet. But again, I'm going to be living to 117, so I got a long ways to go. I can still see all seven continents. I can still try all the different foods. I can go to different equipment islands. I can take the beer, I think it's called the barefoot cruise to the little islands. I can still do all that. But I have had a good ride. I still got the idea of climbing a volcano. Most people never climbed a volcano. Fascinated with volcanoes, so of course that was my gig. Then I climbed the glacier. How many people saw a glacier, but I got to climb it? Would I do it again? I probably not, but it was fun. Snorkeled, you did different things. But you go, and that's part of living. It's making now that we're able to make our life exciting and our dreams and things that we thought that we could never materialize. When I was little, I guess I had faith that I could have a library or maybe some books on the bookshelves. I knew I could have books on the bookshelf, but to have my own library, no, I didn't have a library as a child. Now, we did have a bar. I could do say my father had a nice bar, and I don't have a bar like my dad. But I know that I can have those things, that I can make it come true if I want to, if I'm grown. I mean, some things, a fairy tale princess, or some things just are just far out. They're going to put the glass slipper on my foot. Now, those were not my fantasies. Most of my fantasies and my dreams and my things were something that were more, I think, they were manageable. They were realistic. I didn't dream my hair would be blonde or I'll be blue. No, that was not me. I knew who I was, but I knew that if I worked hard and if it was really something important to me, I could make it happen. I could have the exercise room. Yes, I have an exercise room. Yes, I made all of that. I have a room devoted to exercise. I have a room that's a library. I have a bar area. So if I entertain and people wanted to make cocktails, they can do that. They can go to the bar with the different glasses. Now, do I do a lot of that? Probably not. Most of the time, I use the same glass. Like this one here. This is not the right glass for a dark and stormy. But you know what? I'm home. I can have it any way I want to. But all I want to say, I really want, the idea is to reflect back and think of who you are now and what you said you wanted to do when you were, that little voice with you was maybe 7, 9, 10, somewhere around there, where you're just thinking and going outside the box. Because at that age, there was nothing that we really saw that was really, really impossible. We were going to have horses. We were going to do this. We were going to have a farm. We were going to do... If you think about it, we went out there. We were going to do... We could paint pictures. We could do a lot of those things. I was going to be on board of directors. I was going to give money to charity. I want you to really roll back those layers. Roll. And think about what it is that you said that you wanted to do. That little voice when you thought we can do anything. Again, before the world beat you down and said you couldn't and da. And if you were a person who journaled or wrote books and kept little... You have that in front of you. You have your actual roadmap. But what did that quiet voice tell you that you wanted to do, that you wrote it down, your secret things on there that you said, oh, it'd be nice to have? I mean, there's some things we can control and some things we can't control. Did you want to try sushi? Because sometimes things, it didn't even have to be big things. It would be nice to try sushi one day. Oh, I like to have that, or I can try that. I mean, I remember doing just little kind of things. I remember one time it was a dream just to be able to go and get a pedicure. Never. I was grown when I got a pedicure. I mean, now the kids get the pedicures all the time. But I remember somebody treated me for my birthday one year and I got a pedicure, or when I got my first massage. I mean, there are things that I like them, but what is it? What did that little voice tell you? What were those things that you said that it would be nice? I think that sometimes as we go, we just keep moving. We forget what it was we wanted to do, and now we're there. We had that. We had all those old little things. So look, we got new things that we're exploring, new dreams, new goals, new excitement, because the possibilities are endless. We put limitations at one time in life. We started putting limitations. We started working. We had kids. You had the mortgage. You had things that you were just trying just to make it. But then you woke up one day and guess what? You made it. You got those things. You have all the friends. You're dining out. You're entertaining people. You're traveling. money isn't as an object. You got money in the bank. You didn't think you'd be able to have all those thousands or tens of thousands. You didn't think that you'll ever pay off your house. You'll never be able to pay off your car. You didn't think that. But when now it's time to think and reflect. Reflect. Take time to appreciate and realize that those were not just pipe dreams. They were reality, and now you made it happen. It didn't happen immediately. It took work, it took time, but you made it. Just like I reflect back and I go and I look at the books and people say, "You got a book?" I got that library because that dream of a library started many, 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 many years ago. The dream of having an exercise room started many, 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 many years ago. The dream of having a bar started many, many years ago. And there were a lot of things that started many, many years ago. And it stayed in the back of my head and my mind. And slowly through time and as it became part of me, I made it materialize. And I want you to reflect back. Take time to reflect back in that little voice that said that. And you will probably find, like me, for a lot of them, we are already here. We have made that. Those little things are behind us. We're there. We have actually made it. Just to talk about it, remember, I'll save that for another day. But we made it, and reflect back on where you've been and where you're going and where you are now. Please like and subscribe because your life is sensational, it's fabulous, and it's all what we make it and what you put into it. And you're just going to keep the journey going because it's exciting and it's fun. Like and subscribe.